Are you one of those people out there looking for that one extra bit of energy to get you through the day? Let's face it, we've all been exhausted. We've worked 18-hour days, 10 days straight. We're fatigued. We're just not seeing the results we want to see. We put these massive goals out there to get certain things done, and we have not quite gotten there. Almost to the point of giving up. My name is Dennis Langlais with the 5-Minute Bark, and I've been there with you many times. I've had massive success and massive failures. I've had days where I've lost thousands of dollars and made thousands of dollars. This podcast is designed to help you get that one kick in the ass, that inspiration to give you that extra little energy you need to get through the moment that you're in right now to create success in your life. I want you to join me right now with a new guest on my podcast that's here, and I'm going to help him or her give you the motivation you need. Let's tune in. Greg, I know you're inspirational. What I want to do is kick someone's ass here today on the show and give them something they're looking for to motivate them today. You and I have both been through some challenges in our lives. I know yours have been drastic. I know you've been on our show before, but don't let that get in the way of your motivation here today. What can you offer when you were down and out? If there's somebody out there right now that's watching and they're down and out and they want that freaking something to grab onto, all right? Something to grab onto where they can just grab onto something and hold on to it to get them through this day, because they might be having that hard time. They might have got that beautiful girlfriend that broke up with them, that beautiful man that broke up and they're just heartbroken. Or maybe they just been busting ass on their business and they just hit rock bottom. The dollars are not going in the bank. What can you offer them here today?
What I can offer them is they are alive. And you better be phenomenal because you're alive, because there's millions of people who will not open their eyes. There's millions of people who don't get the chance that you and I get. You get a second, third, fourth, or even a fifth, or maybe even 100 chance. And it's not over until they close that casket door. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. We all go through circumstances. Listen, the three most powerful words are, we're going to die. 4 words, we're going to die. You're going to die. If you're alive, think about it. There's someone right now who's battling cancer in the hospital who would love to have your opportunities. Those 9 kids who were just shot on the Ohio State University campus, they're thankful that none of them died. One's in critical, but I believe that they will survive. So listen, you are much better off than them. Stop worrying about what you can't pay the bills. That's just a circumstance. Listen, I know people who took their own lives because they couldn't pay their bills. And a year later, their business would have turned around if they would just gave it another shot. You are 3 feet from gold. Don't stop. Things are always going to happen to you. Listen, when I had nothing growing up with 14 siblings, picking worms to help buy food because our parents were addicts, and then when I became an 8-figure income earner, I still had problems. There are still people coming after suing me who I never even met in my life. There's people right now who are trying to attack me as a speaker saying, how are you getting to speak with Les Brown? How are you speaking in Israel and in Las Vegas and Detroit? There will always be things coming after you, but you can't give up. Listen, pain is temporary. Pain is temporary, but if you quit, it will last forever. It will haunt you for a lifetime. You are alive. Just don't look back. Listen, we have a rear view mirror just to look back to see how far we've come, right? That's the only reason you look back. We have eyes in the front of our head for a reason. We have a windshield to look out because we're moving forward. We're not looking backward. So you have to tell yourself, stop whining and start winning. Did you hear what I said?
Stop whining and start living.
Winning. You're always winning because you're alive. You have the opportunity right now. When you see a funeral go by, look at that hearse and say, what did that person did not get to do? What book did they not write? What degree did they not get? What marriage did they not propose that man or woman for? And you have that opportunity. As long as you're alive, you have not seen your best. Your best is yet to come. And I'm telling you right now, your best is yet to come if you don't give up, if you don't quit. Listen, Winston Churchill had the privilege to go to Harvard University to give the commencement speech. Everyone was excited. The only thing he told him was, never, never, never quit. And he left. That's it. If you don't quit, you will eventually win. There's 2 types of people. There's winners, and there's those who haven't found out how to win yet. Listen, you might open up a business. You might not make a profit for 5 years. I slept in my first Subway restaurant 30-some years ago for 4 years, 7 days a week. Why? Because I knew I couldn't give up. because I had a baby girl and she was bigger. Her why was bigger than anything I had. So you have to keep on going. You have to tell yourself, even if it rains on my parade, I will not be denied my dreams or my vision or my goals. That's what you have to do.
Awesome. I have to 100% agree with you, Greg. It's just, you know, right when you think you're going to give up, right when you're like done, you're physically absolutely drained, is when the gold is going to come across. People, everybody has the same problem. It looks differently on camera. It looks differently in real life, but you're not living, you're not sleeping with them. You're not seeing them cry in their beds. You're not seeing them in their hardest times. I always have hard times. I push myself through them. My friends are like, dude, everything's crashing down on you. How are you so positive? It's bullshit. I am pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. I've had 3 years of nothing but failures in all the different businesses I've started. I am not giving up. I woke up this morning with this energy and this passion that I'm not going to give up. And that's what Greg's been doing his whole entire life. This guy is an icon for never giving up. 14 brothers and sisters?
14. I'm the only boy never be in prison.
14. None of them. Say that again.
I'm the only boy not to be locked up in prison. I'm the only one never to be homeless. I'm the first one. My father had 18 kids, brothers and sisters. My mother had 16 brothers and sisters. I have 14. I became the only one in history to make it past the 9th grade. And that's because of a loving teacher who my daughter's named after now. Because the principal asked me to drop out of the first day of high school just because my 12 siblings before me had. But because when I dropped out that day, my teacher, Mrs. Renee Rivers, saw me. She walked me off that ledge. So I tell everyone to find someone who can walk you off that ledge, someone who can turn you around. Listen, my wife and I, when people ask me what it's like to be an entrepreneur, Dennis, I tell them what you tell them. I said, you're going to cry. You're going to wish you had that 9-to-5 job because it's hard. Listen, I sat here now in my wife's $120,000 car. But I remember there's times when we couldn't fix our tire. We didn't have money. Listen, something happened in our car back in 1984 when we graduated, and this old man showed us how to take a screwdriver and put it between these two things and start the car. We had no money. We had no one there for us. So we look at those times and when we cried together, when we prayed together, that's what it's like. It's never going to be easy. It's never. If it was easy, everyone would have a podcast. Everyone would be an 8-figure income earner. But it's worth it. And don't look at those people. Don't look at that guy driving that Ferrari, because you know why? He may be going home putting cocaine up his nose or alcohol in his body because he can't afford that and he's sleeping in that Ferrari. So don't always think that everyone else has it better than you, because you know their glory, but you do not know their story, and you can't give up.
You heard him, everybody. Greg Walker, thank you so much for coming on here today. It's all about not giving up. I'll be straight up with you. Last April, tax time, I did not have enough money to buy a stamp to mail my taxes in on April 15th. 2 days later is my birthday. I was sitting there in my car in front of the post office. I did not have enough change to buy a 37-cent stamp to get. I was laughing and crying at the same time.
That's why I love you, because we successful people, we're not afraid to tell the truth.
No. And I'll tell you what, people, I did not give up. And within an hour, somehow, somewhere, kind of like that Tony Robbins, a check came to me, and just things happened for me. I keep going forward. I keep pushing. I'm just like you. Greg's just like you. We still, even though I live in La Jolla, you live in Ohio, in a beautiful car, a beautiful house, beautiful family, we still have to push every single day.
That's right.
Last words, Greg, before we cut this off.
I want everyone out there to understand that I am you. It's not a cliche. If I can make it with all of my circumstances, you can make it too, but you must surround yourself with people who are elevating you. Listen, there's two types of strength: someone pushing you down or someone lifting you up. Who are you around? You have to surround yourself where you want to go. Don't hang around negative people. Get rid of the DKs, the dream killers. Get with someone who's where you want to be. And listen, it's not all about the money. It's not, because I know a guy who made $1 million a year who put a gun in his mouth and took his own life. And I know people have nothing. They just barely get by, and they're the happiest people. But listen, if you don't quit, you will eventually win. I promise you. And please follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at GregInspires.com. And my book's about ready to come out, called Dream and Grow Rich: How to Dream, Grind, and Hustle Your Way to Success, with the foreword written by the great Les Brown.
Awesome. Thank you, Greg, for coming on. Listeners, I hope we're helping you today to get through today with some inspirational moments here today. We're trying to give you something for today. This isn't in a lifetime, but today. We're going to get you going, because if you can do it today, you can do it again the next day. Greg Walker, thanks for just pulling over the side of the road and giving some for these people here today. He's giving it up for you guys. We're giving it up. We're making sure that you are motivated today with the 5 Minute Bark Podcast. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, brother. Love you.
Love you too. You're watching the 5 Minute Bark Podcast on YouTube. If you like this episode, you just may like many more. Subscribe today by clicking the red subscribe button in the top right-hand corner.